Eric in the van, wheels turning on the grind. Ricky on the rails, keeping time in line. CJ in the gym, gloves hitting like thunder. Yorkshire roots deep where the boxers go under. Fist fly, stories collide. Crossroads boxing where legends reside. Fighter interviews, previews, predictions. Crossroads boxing, no time for fiction. Yorkshire grit in every direction. Step in the ring, feel a connection. Bell rings, echoes through the cold Yorkshire air. Sweat drips, focus, sharp fighters don't care. Left hook, right jab, stories in the scars. Crossroads boxing, reaching for the stars. Eric, Ricky, CJ, the crew. From the podcast mic to the boxing view. Predictions that hit interviews that spark. Crossroads boxing, lighting up the dark. Fighter interviews, previews, predictions. Crossroads boxing, no time for fiction. Yorkshire grit in every direction. Step in the ring, feel a connection.
Welcome everybody to another episode of The Final Round. I am going to be joined today by a very special guest. But before we get underway, just a quick word from our sponsors. If it works. Right, everyone, I am pleased to announce that I am joined in the studio today by none other than Central Area Middleweight Champion, Jake Goodwin. I am just going to make you big, Jake. Wait there, mate. Just swap this over. There we go. Jake, how you doing, my mate? Are you good?
Yeah, good, Ricky. Good, mate. Good. Thank you for having me on. Pleased to join you.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. I know the story behind this to get you on is actually my mum in the background sort of organised all this, but in my own defence as well, you want a radar as well, because I saw you at the Doncaster over Southampton game and you was being walked around during the pre-match and then obviously the half-time show, and you were having your interviews there, and I saw you actually walked past us because we were in the family stand, me and my boy were on the front row, and you walked past us with your missus, and I thought, I should have asked him there and then, but I thought I'll leave him while he's with his missus, and I thought I'll try and get him on social media. But yeah, it was one of those where I thought, fucking hell, did I miss my chance or not? What?
No, you should always ask me.
Anyways,
I always ask me. I'm an advocate for holding back and being shy, not being the one to ask. You know, when it's asking for pictures or saying hello to people. But with me, just anybody, just give me a shout.
Yeah.
I'll get a picture. I'll chat to anybody. Pleased to be on here. But yeah, like you said there, it was your mum that organised this. I actually work in school. In school, she's seen me and said about getting on it. I said, well, he should have just messaged me. Tell Ricky, just message me himself and we'll sort it out.
That's it. So we have got a couple of comments before we crack on with the interview. We have got Eric, sorry I couldn't make it back but to be live, but have a great one. He's at the football game. We've got Liv, still was a long time watcher of the show. Up the Yorkshire lads. My mum herself. Hi Jake.
Hi Lisa.
And then we've got Lost Woods, so handsome. Well, yeah, you've got an admirer as well on the show, so there you go.
Yeah, hello, Lost Woods.
Fair play. So, Jake, we'll get straight into it, mate. So, how did you originally first get into boxing?
As a young lad, only 10-year-old, I was doing football, and my dad was a big boxing fan and always wanted me and my brother to try out, get into it. So we went and tried boxing one day, went down to a local amateur boxing gym, I had no intentions of boxing beforehand, but I thought I'd just go and do it. When I went in, I just ended up finding a natural love for it. And the coach there said, I've natural talent, just straight away stuff like picked up a skipping rope and I could just skip. I got in the ring and it felt nice in that boxing stance and punching. So I just, natural love came from it. And then I quickly decided, I'm no footballer, I'm going to go into boxing. So stuck to boxing, and then since being 10-year-old, just dedicated so much time and put passion into it. 11, I had my first fight, and I still now, the memories came up from that fight the other day. Still now remember the ring walk, remember the buzz of being in the ring and getting your arm raised, and that's where I found my passion for boxing from that moment. And then years have gone by, and the rest is history.
That's it, yeah. Years go by and look at where you are now. So, like you said, you took a bit of a step, your first step into the gym, which for many kids, especially 10 years old, that's probably the hardest step as well, because when you think of boxing, you don't think of this friendly environment, do you? You think of these hard people, it's blood, there's sweat, there's tears all in the ring, all in the gym. But you soon realize when you get involved and people start seeing you make that little bit of effort, it's more like a community, more like a family when you're in there. And that's what gets kids, I think, hooked into it, especially kids that you want to get off the streets these days as well. That community feeling that it gives to the kids these days, I think, is irreplaceable. And I do think amateur boxing is so important for the streets.
Massively, amateur boxing is so important. And that word you just said there, community, is what it is. Top and bottom of it, that it is a community. Whether kids want to fight, don't want to fight, I couldn't recommend boxing more than anything. Because you don't have to spar, you don't have to box, you don't have to compete, but just training and building that family within a gym and a community within boxing. You go to all these different shows throughout Donny, throughout Yorkshire, throughout the country, and meet all these different gyms. And when you're regularly doing it, you're seeing the same gyms every time. And in the amateurs, you're at shows every week, so you're meeting all these people from throughout the country, and it just creates that community. People know who you are, you learn who people are, end up talking, building confidence, building discipline, and that's right from being a young age. I don't think there's any better sport for young people.
No, I don't. I think it's so important to keep kids into the sports. And like you say, even if you don't want to compete, just for the fitness alone, boxing is one of the best fitnesses you can get in. So your amateur career then, like you said, you had your first fight, you got your first win, your hands raised. What was your amateur career like? Like, what was the actual journey like for you from start to finish? What did you achieve? What did you manage to get close to achieving?
I had a very exciting amateur career, very busy, and I always grew, and I was always in that category with the most fighters. I would never heavyweight or the lightest one. I was always in the middle, where most fighters are. So I kind of had a bit of an hard run, but I had a great amateur career.
Yeah.
I took fights on the day. A message from my coach at school, like, we've got a fight. I think there was one who was like in Manchester, one near Wales on the day of. It's like, let's have it. Finish school, in the car, off we go. And that was my amateur career. I remember 1 week I had 3 fights in a week, 2 of them with the same lad. Because it was quite often, right, you win or we win, we'll rematch on your show next week. And that's how the amateurs is. It was just busy, fight anybody, go and get the experience. And then every year I went to the championships, won the Yorkshires. I can't remember how many times, but I did win the Yorkshires a few times, got to the national stages, then moved to uni. I went to uni in Leeds, and then I moved over and started training in Leeds. And as a senior, I did really well. I had a really good senior career. I won gold the University Championships twice, so I'm a 2-time gold medalist. I trained on the England team, the GB facility a lot, met a lot of people, and been under the guidance of some very good coaches over the years. And these are all experiences just from me walking to a gym one day. Had I have not done that at 10, I would never have experienced all of that. Finishing off my amateur career with 53 fights, boxed in Ireland, Isle of Man, Yorkshire, Lancashire, London, up north. Got been all over, met a lot of people, experiences. In it was 12 years as an amateur before I went pro, 12, 13 years as an amateur before I went professional.
Yeah.
So a lot of experience, a lot of stuff to take. Nothing I'd change. Yeah, great experience. 53 fights to finish with.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. So for me then, it's like, what would you? So you've got amateur boxers these days that are coming through. My son included. He's an amateur boxer who's he's been doing his skills bouts, but he's making his actual first competitive bout in May. For people like him that are 10, 11, 12 years old, they're coming through. We know yourself as I'm a licensed coach. You know yourself as an actual amateur. It's not something that you can be in or around. It is like near enough a lifestyle, the amateur boxing. What would be the best advice you could give to young amateur boxers that are coming through or want to really achieve something?
Take every opportunity that comes. Don't listen to people about cutting weight and draining yourself. Yes, diet. I'm not saying going on a bad diet, because I'm an advocate for good diets. It's what I always talk about within the lessons that I teach in schools. Have a good diet, eat well, but don't starve yourself. Don't cut weight when you're 11, 12, 13 years old. Just box at your natural weight and box as often as you can and enjoy every opportunity. Win or lose, or you might turn up and the fight doesn't happen. Just take every opportunity possible, get your face out there, get yourself known, and that experience you'll later thank yourself for taking it.
Yeah. I say that's probably some of the best advice I've heard as well when it comes to the weight draining. I've heard some horror stories about the amateur game where coaches have put weights just to make the boxers weigh a bit more, and it's you know yourself, it's a dangerous sport. These are kids. Just let them have fun with it, let them learn, and let them take it as serious as they want to take it. But moving on, you will then find yourself turning over into the pro game. How did you find what were the key differences in the changeover, and how did you find the transition into the professional game?
I always had the goal of becoming professional. Because when I started boxing, it was at the time Jay McDonald was the British and Commonwealth champion, and I held them belts. They're the pictures that came up. And that was my first motivation and insight into what professional boxers can achieve. So from there, that's when I always knew I wanted to be pro, but I always knew to be the best pro, have the best amateur career. I used to follow the Olympics a lot, and I always knew the Olympic lads would go on to have great pro careers. So I always knew I was going to do it. So I've always psyched myself up for that. But the biggest change is the intensity that you train at, the longer rounds, and more rest. As an amateur, I was training all the time, running to the gym, running back from the gym, training all the time, sparring all the time, fighting all the time. Never really rested. In a pro, you train more intense for longer, but you give yourself days off, you time to recover. But just you've got to be more disciplined. Amateurs is disciplined. I'm not saying it isn't. It's very disciplined, but you do have to be more disciplined. The diet, the training, the lifestyle sacrifices that you have to make.
Yeah, it's like where I used to coach at St. Peter's. The Steffi Bull was like the owner of that gym with his professionals in the same environment, and he had very strict rules about fighters had to stay ready at all times, and they would be those pros in that gym. You had Jimmy Joe Flint, Serge Ambono, who was on your record, You know, Josh Padley, Terry Harper, Ellie Ellowell, a great stable of fighters coming through or already proven in that gym every single day, training as hard as possible. And that was the key differences, how they were able to get to some of the positions they were in, because they took the chances and they stayed ready to be able to take the chances. Like Padley with Shakur Stevenson, to be fair, which is one of the most recent examples. So yeah,
you
it's very
me.
important to stay ready. So explain then the feelings of your professional debut, making that first ring walk, take me back, and getting your hands raised. What was that moment like for you?
Oh, it's one of them got to be there moments. Amazing, really was amazing. I remember my debut like it was yesterday. You know, I sold 175 tickets, people coming from all over to support me. I come out on the walk and doing it for the first time as a professional. Yeah, boxed in a few leisure centres and a few good places in amateur, but most of them working men's clubs, small arenas. My mum and dad will come with me, maybe a couple of other family members. If it was local, a few mates. At most, I probably had 30 people go support me in the amateurs. But yeah, 175 people there and walking out, hearing my name, hearing the singing, the songs for me, stepping through the ropes the first time as a pro, off gloves. It was like, oh, I'm ready. Let's do this. Dominated the fight. It was a great fight. I had a really good debut against Josh Hoggins. A bloke. I've kept in touch with him since the fight. But I knew I won, and that feeling of just getting that arm raised was like, yes, this is what I've dreamt about many times. It was a feeling like no other.
It's your moment, that, isn't it? Yeah. So your style then, what would you say your style is like? Do you base your style off of a certain fighter? Who's your favorite fighter?
My style's very I can do a bit of everything, really. I'm more of a classic boxer. I'm not a brawler. I'm not messy. Classic boxer. Box long, I can box short, I can counter, I can come forward, I can move. Very good jab style, which a lot of people struggle with, a lot of people find awkward. But I can really change my style. Fitness is great, so I can go for long, intense rounds, or if someone wants to dawdle about and take the time and have a bit of a breather as well. I can box anyway. For me, I've got a few fighters that I've always liked watching, always looked up to. When growing up, it was Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao was a southpaw like me, so that's why I'm a fan of him. Always wanted them two to fight, and thought a bit too late, in my opinion, because I was a big fan of both of them. Yeah, that's my style. I can do a bit of everything.
Who, just based off that, because I'm a massive Mayweather fan as well, I do like Pac-Man. If they'd have fought in the primes, who would you have picked? Who would you have picked to win that fight in the primes?
Pacquiao.
Would you really?
Yeah, I think he would have got on top of Mayweather too much. Mayweather's amazing. I think he's quality. And I think he's done so well because he's boxed everyone at the right time. When he fought Canelo was still a player at that time. He fought him at the right time. Had he fought Canelo in his prime, outcome. He would have fought Mayweather at Pacquiao a few years earlier. I think it would have been a different outcome. I do.
See, I'm of the skepticism that I still think Mayweather would win the fight just because of the Juan Marquez fight. So I always thought Juan Marquez were a bit unjustified in quite a few of those fights, and I always thought Pacquiao sort of looked like he struggled with the counter punching style, which is why I always think I still feel Mayweather. To be fair though, I can't put Mayweather losing any fight until I see him lose a fight. So it's one of those as well. I don't want to see Mayweather ever lose ever. Right. So during your journey, you've racked up a a record of 6-0. Then you get a bit of adversity in your career, and you taste defeat for the first time. So, what for me? What is the feeling of tasting the defeat for the first time? What is the mental effects, the physical effects, to those results?
Hey, it's not good. I'm not going to say it's all right. Just get on with it.
It's looking fantastic.
Win. The mentality in me is to win all the time. Be that guy. But that fight, I believe I didn't lose that first loss. I believe I did not lose it. Not. Someone actually said it to me the other day. I didn't lose that fight. But you just move on. It affects you. It gets under it, but you move on. That's how you got to do. You know, it's happened. You can't change the past. You just go on. And then at the same night, the opportunity came to me. But a lot of things went off in life that weren't good, and I probably should have took that next fight. So then after that, I actually thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a bit of a rest. Think about what to do in life, and there's a few things that I needed to change with personal life, not just boxing life. So I made them changes, come back, and ever since, his career's been on the rise. I'm just improving fight upon fight, getting better, fitter, stronger. I'm doing all rounds. The last one was a 10-rounder. Making the change to where I'm at now has been the best change I've ever done.
Yeah, because it could be one of those moments, can't it, where you take, say, you're on the wrong end of what could potentially be a very close decision. Then, obviously, like you said, at that moment in time, you're in a bit of a dark place anyway in your life. And you're automatically thinking, because that's just happened, you need to get straight back out there. And like you said, the wrong timing for you, and it just weren't meant to be on those nights. But if boxing proves anything, lessons are to be learned. They're there to learn, and everything's an experience that you can just take in your stride and learn from. What I have got a question about, and you can excuse me if this is wrong, because this is off BoxRec, but I've got here weights that you fought at in your career so far. It's 155, 156, 158, 159, 161. Was this like you were experimenting with weights, finding out what weight you best felt at, or was it just you just taking every fight you could possibly get at the time?
A bit of both, really. You know, I started off my pro career wanting to be a middleweight because that's what I finished off my amateur. And then I realized that it's different in pros. You can go down to super welterweight. So I did that, but then them losses was at a time where I'd grown a bit more. I'd put a bit more muscle mass on. It wasn't easy to make the weight, and I was cutting too much because I'm naturally quite lean anyway. I don't really put much weight on. But then after that, I took the break. I thought, you know what? Let's go up to middleweight. I had that first fight at middleweight, the one that was Owen Anderton. Great. Punch resistance was better. I was so much better. My effort in the gym, so much better. So I'm not hungry. I'm not thinking about food. So just moving up the weight was good for me. And that's now where I'm campaigning. Weight, so comfy. It's only £6. I think a lot of people think, I'm one of them, think you lose that weight, you're going to be so much stronger at the weight below, which is correct somewhat. But when you're doing it too much, it's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Just build up to that weight.
You can see it in some boxers, can't you, when they do cut the weight. Some of them are very severe. You can see it all in the face where the bodies still look immaculate. They still look amazing. But you can see it. I feel like you always can see it in the face first. How drawn they look. Like when Eubank, for me, fought Ben twice, you always could. I feel like you could see it in his face. But yeah. So what did you say then? Do you think then? Obviously you fought at 161. You're at 159 currently. Is that where you feel best? Do you reckon you will move up eventually, or are you just going to start feeling out and keep feeling out the middleweight division so far?
I'll be staying in the middle. Unless any other big opportunities come or I put a bit more weight on, I'd move up. But there's no need for me to move up to super middle anytime soon. I stay in the middle.
Find your lane. You're going to stick in it for now. What does this? Oh, fact, wait there. So obviously, fast forward now to the present, your most recent fight, your first 10 rounder, and you pick up against Marcus Tomlinson. In what I've seen, I've not seen the fight yet. I've been trying to find the fight to watch it, but I've seen it dubbed as fight of the year, so I'm definitely going to watch it. You pick up the Central Area Middleweight title, which for me is still a great title to win. I know some really great boxers that have been Central Area Middleweight, not middleweight, but champions. What was that moment like for you to pick up that title, have your hand raised, and have that belt around your waist?
All this work, again, like the debut, all this work, all these years, I've won this title. I've done this. This is mine. I've entered boxing with nothing. I've never been expected to win a fight, let alone a title. My first title, and I knew it was going to open doors to bigger things. But that was a great fight. I've shared it on my Facebook. I have to find it. It's a quality fight. That fight, you know, not just me, but Marcus as well. The two of us, we really put on a display for the crowd, and it was a great 10-round fight, just constant, all 10 rounds, and I came away victorious. I came away winning. At the end of the fight, I knew I'd won, and that feeling, yeah, it's mega. You know, getting that belt around your waist for the first time, it's mega. Just because I knew what would be able to come for it next for me.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, explain then. Obviously, I know you've got some announcements, but you can't make any announcements today. What sort of doors, like for people that win, like, because me, Eric, TJ, we're traditionalists, we're boxing fans. We love boxers that take that traditional route. What doors does that open up for you to win that Central title?
That's what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do traditional route: Central, English, British, European, Commonwealth. Well, traditional route. If that's wise, honest. Because I'm not a big name, because I'm not already well known or already got family that's done it before, I was happy to take my first step as a Central Area, first title, first one, and put my name. So winning that, I knew then, well, I'm now going to get put in line to the English, then got the British. From that, on and on and on. So winning that, I knew would open doors for me. But I knew as soon as the fight finished, how good of a fight that was. All it's going to take is for the right person to watch that, get me known, get me some publicity, get me a TV show, get me something big, and then I get noticed, and it's up for that fight is was there to do it, and it delivered.
Yeah, brilliant. That's what you want. I'm gonna share it, and I'm gonna watch it as well myself because I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, my favorite fight.
We normally have Jack Gladman who tunes in. He's actually a British matchmaker. He matchmaked Friday night's show with Thomas Asomba and all that. He matchmaked the full show, and he normally tunes in as well. So, what does this year look like for you then, Jake? Oh, in fact, he's here. Speak of the devil, he's actually tuned in, Jack. What does this year look like for you? What are your like plans that you would like to happen or unfold? How do you see your year playing out?
So I've got a fight scheduled, to be announced next week, which is going to be in the third quarter of the year. Victorious in that, move forward, and more doors are going to be opening. I've already been told for that. So right, it's hard for me to say because I'm focused on what's next for me, and it's a great opportunity. What's next for me? I just can't wait to get it announced. I can't say anything because it's got to get announced by promoters first. But it's step by step for me. I can't look too far in the future because I've got something in front of me. First of all, that I have to come through to then move on to the next thing. And it'd be wrong of me to just look past that and move forward straight away. So looking forward at the next fight, which is a big one, a great one for me. Get that recognition and get myself known.
Right then, so I'll put this to you. In 5 years' time, Jake, where can we expect to at least see you? Where we're going to see you in 5 years' time, my man?
Oh, I don't know. What we're thinking: New York, Vegas, somewhere big, Wembley, somewhere big. That's where we'll be in 5 years' time.
Taking that Doncaster crowd with you.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Could you imagine Donny lads in Vegas? Fucking hell. Right. Right. So I have got a couple of get to know you questions, but before we do that, we'll go through some of the comments for everybody that's tuning in live. Lost Woods, did you have any other interest that gave you that same feeling or interest that you dropped for boxing?
So interest before starting boxing.
Interest. Yeah. Have you had any other sports that gave you that same feeling?
Not other than the feeling that I had boxing. I used to think it did. But no, when I found love for boxing and the passion I have for it, it really is the only sport that's given me this feeling. The only thing that does give me the passion and feelings that I love and enjoy is something I've done since starting boxing, and that's coaching, teaching, inspiring the next generation. That's my second biggest thing for what I want out of my career, aside from being as successful as I can, inspiring the next generation, which is why you see me at Chemo. I went there with the belt to show around to the kids that were in the stadium what you can achieve if you put your mind to things.
Yeah, and that's what it's really all about. Because the boxing, you know yourself, you don't get given no handouts. You earn it all yourself, and there's nobody. It don't matter how much you do your training with the other coaches, your teammates. There's only going to be you and one other person in that ring. So there's no handouts in it. You've got to get in there and earn it yourself. Just piggybacking off the back of Lostwood's question, what would you say are your your highest and lowest moments of the sport so far?
My highest moments have got to be my most recent, picking up my first title.
Yeah.
In what is going to open for me, and the passion and the joy I've seen in people's faces around me, people that are close to me, my coaches, my family, my friends, my partner, everybody that knows how hard I work and how much I want it. That's the highest for me. The lowest is probably, I don't know, because I'm a positive person. I like to get over a lot of things. So my goals in boxing so far have been, which I learned very quickly, is fights get cancelled, opponents pull out last minute. Because my debut got rescheduled 2 times. My opponent couldn't get an opponent the day before, so all them tickets had to then get refunded. And I've had shows where that's happened a few. You know, they're quite low moments. Last minute cancellations on shows. They're quite low moments in pro boxing.
All the hard work that you put in through the camp. It happened to Casey Ducey as well. I don't know if you'll know her. She's from our area, from my old gym. She making her pro debut, and I think that got pushed back twice, I believe, and 2 different opponent changes and things like that. So it's like you said, it is a low moment for them. It must be an absolute piss take, to be fair, when you put all that effort in, you peaked as well.
It's hard, but then you've got to be mentally strong and know something will come. I've got to stay in the gym, keep ready. Look past it now, it's happened.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's all you can do is keep trying. So we've got a question from Eric. If you have one, who are the top 5 pound-for-pound boxers right now?
Oh God, right now I don't know if I can go for 5, but 1 would be Usyk.
It's got to be, hasn't
it? You agree with me on that one, but yeah, it's going to be Usyk number 1. The next 5 is very hard. I don't actually know what order I'd put these boxers in. But I'm just going to go with my number 1. But our top number 1 is Usyk.
Yeah.
Crawford's just retired, but Crawford would be.
Yeah, you don't count. You got a new way.
Forget about him now. He's retired.
Yeah, I know. That's it. Yeah, you've gone. You've left us. Jake from Lobster, what football team do you support?
I'm a fan of Donny Rovers. my city,
get up, yeah.
where I'm from, where I'm going to be more often.
That's it. That's what we want to see. We want to see that show at Keepmoat. We don't want it to go on as long as Terry Harper's though, because that were a nightmare. When are you boxing next, Jake?
It's
you
going to
answered
be
that, didn't you?
Yeah, it'll be the back end of March. Back end of March, it's going to be.
So make sure you get some tickets, Mum. He's give you plenty of notice. Don't be cheapskating.
It's on a weekend as well, not a work.
Yeah, Jake won't remember me, but we met at Warrington versus Lara 2.
All right, Jack. I might if I seen you. Might remember if I seen you.
Yeah, he's the one that's the matchmaker.
Right, okay.
Right, so just a couple of get your noise, and then I'll not take up much more of your time, mate. Hobbies then. Do you have any hobbies outside of boxing?
It's all sport and fitness related. I'm a bit of a fitness freak.
Yeah. Go on then.
Yeah, swimming, running, walks, socializing. Yeah. Just anything active. Just being active for me.
No, that's good. To be fair, it's what you need. It's nice to see that, because there's too many people that are just happy just to sit back on the phones, on the stuff, sitting indoors. Get out there, get amongst it. What's your favourite cheat meal?
Oh God!
Gotta have a cheat meal.
Get me down to creams at Lakeside. I'm a sweet tooth.
Creams. Do you know what? I haven't even been in there yet, neither.
No, I was one actually. A story I've got here. So one of the fights actually got cancelled the night before. I was absolutely gutted. At the time, it's a couple of years ago. At the time, I was living up in Leeds. My girlfriend was living in Donny. This was before we were living together. And I rang her. I was like, "Oh, fight's been cancelled. I'm gutted. Meet you at Urban Burger. Burgers, halloumi fries, milkshake, the lot. Oh, it was great."
I fucking love Urban Burger. A bit too much, I think, at all. Right, so we've got a couple of fights on this weekend. I want a couple of predictions from you from Warrington versus Wood 2. Who are you going for and why?
Warrington points, because I'm in the gym. I know how hard the man works. I know how fit he is and how focused he is. And I know how good he is. And I know he's going to be
brilliant.
Second.
Yeah, his work rate for me, Warrington, especially now that we're getting to public Twilight is one of his career as well, is absolutely relentless. I still remember when he was making his debut, and the big story about him was he was actually at the time training to become a dentist. If I remember correctly, so anyway. But obviously, it's a good job he didn't bother, because world champion, he's had the loins of the sport, he's enjoyed the riches, and hopefully now he can sign off with a big win over his rival, because I know for a fact that when you go through that fight, it eats at him losing that fight. He's not a happy bunny about losing that one.
No, he's a trainer. Josh, was being that gym's quality. Having someone who works so hard, he's so fit, it pushes you to even harder and work. You know, someone that's been as high as he's been to train alongside him is phenomenal. Yeah,
that's what it's about. It's about that. Harper versus Dubois. I know that's not this weekend, but she's one of her own. I've been on Hill Sprints with her on a Saturday morning. Go on. Who have you got? Harper versus Dubois.
Before I answer that, be honest then. How much does she beat you?
How much does what?
How is she beating you all the time on the mills?
I haven't been in ages, but yeah, she does, yeah.
Tough about it, yeah.
Harper,
yeah, Terry Harper, definitely.
Terry Harper on points.
Terry Harper points.
I think I go down the same route because I'm a loyalist myself. I do think Caroline Dubois dangerous in those first couple of rounds. My biggest worry is if she tags Harper and if Harper struggles to recover from it. But I think if Harper stays away, lets Dubois gas herself out, picks her up with the boxing skills, I think she can get that job done. No problem, in my opinion.
too sharp, too switched on.
Yeah.
Very quick on the first few rounds, and then it'll be should provide a boxing lesson.
Yeah, I hope so. I fucking hope so. But yeah, Jake, that's all from me today, mate. Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed the interview quite a lot. It's my first show as well, doing this by myself. I've normally got some comrades with me. And good luck for the future. Is there anything that you want to say before we sign off? Any sponsors you want to shout out or anything like that?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's stayed and listened to all 40 minutes of this. You know, it's great. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to be on here as well, Ricky. Thank you for having me. Nice to get out there and just let people learn about me a little bit more, share my passion, share my success with them.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Nice message. Right, again, thank you to everyone that's tuned in live, and thank you to everyone again that will pick it up or catch up later on YouTube. We are out of here. See you later.
Okay.
Out, one glove high, one dream loud, no doubt. Crossroads boxing from Yorkshire, turn the